In my life, I've had a lot of ups and a lot of downs. I have good memories, and there are things I deeply regret. I carry burdens of my past. I carry a lot of guilt into my future. But we are human. We make mistakes, some bigger than others, but I reach my low. But it's only up from here. My name is SonTran, and this is my story. So after June 17 happened, the question I get the most now, or even when it just happened, was why? Why did you do it? Or what made you do it? Or why did you choose that? Why did you choose to drink? Why did you choose to smoke? Why did you choose to cut? Why did you let your demons get the best of you? And I can't really come up with an answer as to why, because if you're dealing with mental health, like myself, and I had a suicide note with me, we carry it for however long, 3 months, 4 months, even a year. All I needed was something to push me over the edge, whether it was someone or something, or even myself in my mind. It's not like I was asking for someone to push me over the edge, but the amount of emotion that I had, the amount of thoughts I was having that night pushed me over the edge. And I can't turn back time. I can't go back to that night and redo everything. Even the next morning on that Monday, after it happened, on that Monday, the 19th, or the 18th, sorry. The 17th was on the Sunday, the 18th was on the Monday. It was Monday morning where I was in the shower or something. And then I was still in and out because I was loaded. I was like packed. Like, I don't remember much from that night, to be honest with you. I was in the ambulance when I was waking up, and I had a flashlight in my eyes, like them asking me my name and my address and everything. And I was in the hospital, and then a few hours later I was having surgery on my arm, and I remember sitting there watching them do the surgery on my arm. Just all this doubt and questions and guilt of sitting there. And now looking back, I lost 2 friends. One when I was in grade 11 to suicide, and one just this past October to suicide. Now looking back, I feel so guilty, because why did I survive and why not them? Why didn't they? I don't know. I don't know how to deal with that, with all that guilt. Why am I living my life now, surviving, and not them? Why did I get a second chance and not them? And I still carry that guilt with me every day. Some nights are harder than others. I was in the hospital for about a week. I got discharged so it was a week. I got discharged the following Monday after. And in that time, I got switched between 2 hospitals. All that time, I was sitting in that hospital bed. I was only allowed outside for half an hour at a time. So after breakfast, I would go outside for half an hour and then come back. And then after lunch, I would do the same thing. And then the cutoff time was, I think, 9. I still remember that. When I was only allowed out a certain amount of time. Certain people were allowed out for an hour or so. But I think I was only allowed out for half an hour. And thinking every time I was laying in that bed, like, how did I end up from going from being or pretending to be happy in high school, ending up sitting here crying in a hospital bed? How did, like, I couldn't even process what my mind was thinking or process my thoughts at that time. Like, how did I go from that kid to this kid in a matter of 3 years, or even a matter of 1 year, 1 day, 1 week, 1 month? How did I go from pretending to be happy to crying sitting in a hospital bed? And after I got discharged, I couldn't work for 2 months. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't move my arm. I couldn't lift anything over 5-10 pounds, or my stitches would burst, and then that's it. Then I'd have to go back. So all I could do is sit at home with, like, by myself in my room, doing nothing, absolutely nothing. And that was the worst part of, after going from being in high school to being out of high school and sitting in isolation pretty much, because when you have mental illness and you're in isolation, that's a scary thing. It's a scary thing when you're all alone and you feel like you're trapped in a room. It's probably the scariest time that I had. Right after, even being in the hospital, I was scared. And then coming home and then having to do that for 2 months straight, until I was cleared to go back to work, until I was allowed to do anything, really. And even if during that time, like, I went out to, let's say, grab a coffee, get ice cream, something so simple, I remember no matter what it was the simplest things that I wanted to do, I was scared to do. I was scared to even, step outside my front door. And even if it was 30 degrees, I would still wear a hoodie. I would put that hood over my face so nobody could see me. I would never wear short sleeves because I didn't want anyone to ask. I didn't want anyone to point and just be like, oh, what happened there? Or what'd you do there? And my lie was, to everybody that asked what my lie was, to everybody that asked what happened to my arm, this was my lie. It was either I burned it at work, or it was a camping trip that went wrong. So that was my 2 lies. Even now, I still tell that to everybody, or certain people that don't personally know me or super close with me. That's what I tell them. No matter where I went, I wore a hood over my face because I was ashamed. I was ashamed of who I was. I was ashamed of showing my face. I was scared of what people were gonna think of me or say about me. I was very ashamed of myself. To this day, like, sometimes, like, I get scared to wear short sleeves. I know that one day somebody will hear my story and be inspired by it, or be encouraged, or my story will help them through a dark time of their own. Because nobody should fight that battle alone. And to anyone who's watching, you're not alone. Because I went through those things too, and I'm here to tell you that you are worth it. No matter how many times somebody tells you that you're not, how many times somebody tells you they'd be better off without you, or no matter how many times you think to yourself that you're not worth it, you are.
To go, but I'm still going nowhere. I just got all this self-doubt, voices in my head getting too loud. I just